In Daniel chapter 7, he said, I saw 4 beasts rise up out of the political seas of mankind. And he said the first was a lion, and it had eagle's wings. And that is a very, very important beast. The lion is not old Babylon, as you're being told by today's modern prophetic scholars at all. The lion is, in fact, England. You're going to find out that every one of these beast powers had major to-dos with Israel in its formation and its sustenance and its persecution. The eagle's wings on top of the lion are none other than the United States of America, which flies the eagle as its emblem. England and America are portrayed by the prophet Jeremiah as a mother and daughter relationship, and in fact America was actually born out of England. Now what's interesting about this is that the eagle's wings, America, is also portrayed in the scriptures as the biggest, greatest end-time nation to ever exist in the history of the world, and she has a code name. Her code name is Babylon the Great. Now we have produced many videotapes to prove this, so I'm not going to get into that now. If you don't believe it, order the videotapes. It'll prove it to you that America is Babylon the Great. No question at all about it. It's so obvious and so plain once you see it. So the first beast power to rise up was England, and then right after that America, the eagle's wings, tied together in a mother-daughter relationship according to Jeremiah. Now what's interesting is that the next beast that rises up is a bear. Now, everybody knows that the Russian bear was very deadly, formed the Soviet Union. It's interesting that there were 3 ribs in the bear's mouth, and the ribs themselves tell the bear what to do. The ribs are Marx, Engels, and Lenin, who founded the Russian doctrine and told the communist nation what to do. And it's really not a communist nation. It's a dictatorial slave state that utilizes the name communist, but it's not truly communist. It's simply a dictatorial socialistic slave state. Socialism has nothing to do with helping the common man. Socialism is run by the elite to help themselves at the expense of everybody that's not in the elite. Very simple. Wherever socialism goes, death, murder, destruction follow. And yet socialism is still with us and is eventually going to engulf the entire world, as we will get to in biblical prophecy. All right, so the Soviet bear rises up. All right, the next beast to rise up, Daniel said, is a leopard. The leopard had 4 wings of a fowl. Supposed to be 4 Reichs. There are 4 heads on this leopard. The best example we have is Nazi Germany or national fascism. That, according to the Bible, is going to rise up over again and take the world. And we're watching it happen before our very eyes. Very, very important because it plays a major role in UFOs. It was from Nazi Germany that the first anti-gravitic devices from occultic sources arrived in America under Operation Paperclip by executive order under President Truman. We're going to get into that. In fact, that's what Lazar and the rest of these people are saying. All of that was imported from Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany is going to rise again according to the Bible. Only it's going to rise in America in the form of a global, socialist, fascist police state. That's what Bible prophecy says, clear and simple. How does it happen? It happens by the 4th beast that Daniel saw rise up. The 4th beast, it says, is diverse and different from any of the other beasts before it. Nothing like it in the history of the world. It's not a nation. It's not a state. What is it then? That it rises up and devours, it says, the whole world, absorbs the nations, destroys their constitutions, takes over their sovereignty, and rules their people with an iron fist. It's the United Nations. The United Nations is not a nation. The United Nations is not a state. The United Nations is an organization, and it gets its power from treaties. just as Daniel said it would. It would destroy the nations. It would absorb their sovereignties. It would take away their constitutions. And it would set up a world dictatorship. This is where it gets very, very important. Because we're going to take these four beast powers, and now we're going to jump ahead to Revelation chapter 13, which unlocks the key to the UFO mystery. Very, very important. When we get to Revelation chapter 13, we find a beast rising up out of the sea. It has feet, it says, of a bear. In other words, the foundation of this beast is going to be what we saw in Russia and the Soviet Union. It is going to be dictatorial, socialistic slave state. That's the foundation of it. But it says the body of this beast is that of a leopard. Oh, it's going to be world fascism, a rise again of the Nazi regime. We could call it Nazi International. Everybody thinks that Hitler and Germany went away, that Nazism is dead. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's very, very much alive. Mystery knows all about it. Nazism is alive and well and is coming back in the United States of America. All right, it said it has the mouth, and we assume then from that, which is sometimes a deadly word to use, it has the head of a lion. Well, as we know, the lion is Great Britain, and this thing is run from Great Britain. Isn't that interesting that we have the British so deeply involved in the United Nations and its promotion? We have British Freemasonry deeply entrenched in the affairs of mankind. We have creeping socialism, often called Fabian socialism, in which you bring in socialism a little bit at a time. You creep it in incrementally so that the people can't protest very much because they look like fools when they protest each time you take away one of their rights. Fabian socialism, creeping socialism. But in reality, it's very deadly, and when they seize power, they will eliminate anybody who opposes them. Now, the Bible says that this beast power is so powerful and so strong that nobody can fight against it. It makes two very, very important comments about it. It says, one, that the world will wonder after this beast when they see it come out, and it's a revival of ancient Babylon is what it really is. The ancient Babylonian concepts of a group of wise men, a priestly caste, which we would simply call the elite in our language, that will rise up and rule the world. And it says they have so much weaponry and so much power. Who can make war with the beast? The answer is no one can make war with the beast. Absolutely no one, because they have the weapons of war that are so powerful and so great that even semi-automatics, tanks, bazookas, etc., are nothing compared to the weaponry they're going to have. And it also makes one other comment. It says Satan gave the beast its power and great authority. Satan himself. The Bible, I want to back up here just a little bit. The Bible does not attempt to prove that God exists. It does not attempt to prove that Satan exists. It does not attempt to prove that fallen angels exist. It does not attempt to prove that devils or demons exist. It does not attempt to prove that Jesus Christ was real. It simply states all of these things as a matter of fact. The Bible makes a comment that only a fool would say there is no God. And it claims that Satan runs the world and that Satan gives power unto this the last final form of socialistic, dictatorial world government that is going to be Nazi fascism on a global scale. Nobody can make war with this because their weapons were created under black operation.